Hi there, I'm Elizabeth Wein, and I am the author most recently of Stateless. Stateless is a novel set in the 1930s starring a young woman named Stella North. And Stella is the British representative in an air race that takes place in 1937. It's an air race specifically designed for young people. You have to be under 21 in order to enter it. And there is a different racer participating from about 10 different European countries. Stella is the only young woman among all the air racers. Very early on in the race, Stella sees another racer being forced out of the sky, and he ends up plummeting into the English Channel and dying. And Stella realizes that he has been murdered and she doesn't know why, and she's worried that she is also going to be a target. So most of the book, in addition to racing around Europe and stopping in different cities along their way, the contestants are trying to figure out which one of them is responsible for the death of one of their number. And I'm going to read from right in the middle. The pilot swooped down from high above, exactly the way he'd swooped down on Vittorio. I saw the wings out of the corner of my eye. The turbulence made by their passing buffeted me so hard it was like being hit with something, even though the other plane didn't touch mine. And then my attacker swooped away again. Gasping, I looked back over my shoulder and couldn't see anything. For a moment, I couldn't believe I hadn't been physically struck. But my plane, the cadet, was still flying steadily, perfectly balanced, just the way I'd set it up for the flight. The first attack only jarred me, not my plane. Spooked, I glanced around wildly. For a moment, I glimpsed it, above me, against the sun, a black shape speeding down toward me out of the heavens. Dazzled, I couldn't tell what color it was. Oh, God! It was like seeing a gloved hand aim a pistol at my heart. Not that such a thing had ever happened to me. The other pilot dived beneath my plane from behind. I yanked the nose up instinctively to avoid a collision. The entire aircraft shuddered for a moment, jarring my teeth. Then my plane stalled. The nose pitched violently forward, and the dipping left wing dragged the machine sideways. My stomach swooped as I went down with the plane, pinned in place by my safety harness. Suddenly, I was out of control over the Alps, falling into a spin. My head and my heart were in a numb shock of panic, living the nightmare of plummeting down towards mountains of rock. But my hands and feet reacted automatically. My instructor's relentless badgering came to my rescue. Jean Pemberton had thrown me into a spin like this more times than I could count, and now the repetitive drills paid off. I cut the engine, bore down on the rudder, and pushed the control column forward, all without thinking about it. When my thinking brain began to function again, I straightened the rudder and leveled my wings. The cadet was climbing again. I was in control of the plane, and the plane was all right. Nothing had hit me, and I hadn't hit anything. But as I pulled the nose up and pushed the power back on, the reality of what was happening hit me like a sleety waterfall, like ice being poured down my back. The other pilot must be coming back, circling for a third attack. I craned my neck wildly, not knowing where in the sky to look. I imagined the other plane hurtling toward me again from above. And a low, serious voice in my head echoed, "Just hide." I didn't think about where I'd heard that voice, but I knew I had to listen to it. Get down low, fly as low as you can, skim the treetops. I pushed full power on and shoved the nose of the cadet forward. I forced the plane into another screaming dive toward the Earth's surface. But this time I wasn't out of control. This time I was doing it on purpose. I wasn't afraid of flying. I'm Elizabeth Wein, and thank you for listening.